What's up, everybody? Welcome into the NCAA Hoops Hour. It is the big man on campus. I'm here live on a Tuesday, February 25th, 2020. Hope you're all having a great day wherever you are. We will go through some college basketball tonight and try to work through some things here. I will I'm going to wait a second to talk about that, but I will talk about something else as well coming up. I saw Uncut Gems last night. I loved it. I really enjoyed the movie. I didn't see it in theaters. I was just kind of waiting for it to come out on iTunes, and I watched it last night. I actually watched it the whole way through, which sometimes it's super late. I fall asleep or something, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done. I thought the betting angles were actually quite good. I mean, sometimes in movies, they don't show the game or like they don't really like. I thought it was quite good. I mean, obviously he's a degenerate gambler. He was betting like crazy parlays and stuff, but it was a well done movie. I liked kind of the dynamic between him and his side piece. I thought she was kind of like a real rider type of chick, and I like some of the cameos in the movie. Obviously, Garnett wasn't really a cameo. He was a character, but I liked his role a lot. I thought he was really good as an actor. I liked, the Francesa cameo was funny, and I thought Eric Bogosian did a great job as the Arno character. He's in Billions. He's in that show. I thought he was really good as that character as well. I thought the ending was crazy. I did not expect that ending. It was kind of bittersweet, actually. I really liked the character. I thought the Ratner character was really good. I liked his character a lot. I thought the movie was really good. I really enjoyed it. As far as I will say, like I've always been like really loosely fascinated with like those Diamond District guys, like all those guys in New York, like the Garment District people, the Garment, connections to the mob, the Diamond District, the Jewish connection in the Diamond District. I find that stuff to be so interesting. Like I don't know, super fascinating. Like just the life they live and the shit they see and the kind of the highs and lows. A lot of them have like personal issues and they have to kind of, the trading shit, pawning shit. Like that's, I don't know, it's super interesting to me. I would love to like research that, but I know the Diamond District is not like it used to be. A lot of things aren't like they used to be, but um, all those like districts like in New York are fascinating. So I liked the movie a lot. I was glad I watched it, and it was worth the money I paid to watch it. So we're very well done. I should have won some awards. I thought Sandler always does those like kind of happy roles. Remember for like Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore and all those kind of movies. But I thought he was really good in that role. I loved his accent too. It really fit the character. I thought, obviously the character was, he had that kind of New York accent, but it was kind of like a lingered, like he drew, like every word was like, ha, it's kind of like he had the Jewish kind of slangish with it, but I really liked it. I thought it was a great film. But we're here. We got plenty of people here joining us. So thank you for checking out the show. I talk all the time about, doing different content. I'm always trying to like try things and see what works. This show's kind of spontaneous. I've kind of, the content I do now is very erratic. It's very spontaneous. I just kind of do it. I used to have, obviously when I was with SBR, I used to have a lot of content that I was always doing. And you could always expect it. This show is kind of been different. I brought it back and it's been fun. And I've really just looked for the content to catch on, always trying different things and, involved in different things. And, tomorrow is going to be finally a pretty big day for me. So I think for me, you're obviously going to hear some things that are coming out about me that are exciting and I'm ready for. And, it's been kind of a marriage that I think had to happen and will happen, and it's going to be awesome. So, this will be, at least this show on this channel will be the last show here we have. So, I'm moving on to different things, to better things. I will still be doing content. I'll just be doing it for a different company, and I'm graduating to something else. My website, I've had a lot of fun with. I'm not going to obviously scrap it forever. We've actually made money this year. It's been a positive season. Um, we obviously have some outlook with that coming up. So, the season's, getting closer to ending. So, I'm kind of taking on a different role somewhere else, but, I'll have all that info out coming up here soon. So, I don't want to talk about it until it's done, but, it's something that we're going to be doing. So I'm pretty excited about it. So yeah, you'll be finding my content somewhere else, and it'll allow me to do a lot more of it. A lot of expected stuff, a lot of video stuff. So keep that in mind. I know all of you follow me on Twitter anyway, so if you have any questions, you can reach out right now. But let's take a look at some of these games. I'm not going to obviously go into to obviously legit opinions on literally every game because there's a lot of Mac tonight and stuff like that. But I'll kind of just touch on some of these games. LaSalle Davidson, Davidson's starting to play some decent basketball. I thought Davidson, I think they're, to me, one of the more disappointing teams in the country. I thought with the team coming back, I thought they'd be actually a really quality group in the Atlantic 10, and they still may be. I'll tell you what, Davidson, it wouldn't surprise me if they find a way to get to the final in this conference. They're starting to play some of their best basketball of the season. I think they're really talented. It wouldn't surprise me if they get to the final against LaSalle or against Dayton. It really depends where they're going to be seated. But if they can avoid Dayton, it wouldn't surprise me if they get to the final here. You're kind of like, wow, it ended up being a decent year for Davidson. But in this game, obviously at home here, they are taking on a LaSalle team they actually haven't seen yet this year. The tough thing about Davidson sometimes is they play at such a slow pace. But you look at their last couple of games, the games that they're winning. They just beat Rhode Island, which was a nice win. It's not going to be by margin, but they killed Bonaventure, killed Fordham, killed UMass, killed George Mason, killed Fordham, killed St. Louis. I mean, their last 6 wins or so have all been by double digits. So, when you look at this game, it doesn't exactly seem like a big number. Davidson has a great offense. They do a lot of really good things. And I'm actually getting a phone call coming in, so let me take this quickly. Hey, Jeff. Can I call you in maybe a half hour? Give you a call back. Thanks. But yeah, so you look at their offense. I mean, really good from the line. Do a nice job at kind of running offense. They have good guard play, and that was one of the things about Davidson that I liked this year. You bring back Axel Goodmanson. You have obviously Kellen Grady. You have some decent bigs. Brakojevic. And some of those guys. They just don't have a ton of depth. They've kind of obviously struggled, but in this conference they've played decently. So it wouldn't surprise me if they find a way to do some things in the A10 tournament. This game, if I had to play it, I would definitely lay the number. Dayton, George Mason. A lot of people obviously looking towards George Mason towards Dayton here in this game, and I wouldn't fault them. I think Dayton is the best offense in the country, or one of the best offenses in the country. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I mean, they're rolling. I mean, the last time they lost was before Christmas. That's how good Dayton's been. Interestingly enough, though, they haven't played George Mason yet. This first game for the Patriots here against Dayton. I got to be frank. I mean, I know it's a road game. It really doesn't matter a ton to me. Dayton should be able to handle business. George Mason is not a good team. They're a team that I think when they are off, they are really off. Sometimes they hang around in the first half. I will say, though, Dayton is one of the best first half teams in the country. There have not been many teams better than them. So, if you want to get froggy, maybe consider a first half here. But, I mean, I wouldn't take George Mason here. I mean, I don't really understand the number going down. Some of the spots I see a number at 11 and a half, 11. It's been 12 for most of the day. I wouldn't be betting George Mason here. I guess your only concern is Dayton just, doesn't finish. But, I mean, they don't really ever have any issues finishing. So, I don't have any reason to think they won't get the job done here. But you look at the last couple of road games. I mean, one by 5 against VCU, one by 8 against UMass, one by 4 against Duquesne, 8 against Richmond. They're not exactly covering, but all those teams that I just mentioned are all better than George Mason. So I would think this game's like 78-64, something like that. In the case where I'd probably be okay laying it. If it's at 11.5, I'd be okay with that. But first half looks solid. Maybe like get a 5.5, 6 point number, something like that, 6.5. TCU, Iowa State. Iowa State's actually been okay, even without Halliburton. They've actually played okay. Two of the bottom teams in this conference don't really have much in this game. Duke, Wake Forest, another good team laying points on the road. You got to figure the days of Danny Manning are getting pretty close to ending, I'd imagine. I feel like Danny Manning should have been fired a year or two ago, but he still is hung around. First time they played, it was a 31-point win for Duke. So I don't know if a change of venue is really going to do much here, but I won't be on this game. DePaul, Xavier. I mean, I think Xavier just kind of is what they are. I'd hoped, I felt like for the first time, Xavier had a really good opportunity on Saturday, and they really just didn't play. They didn't play well. I mean, they just aren't very good. I don't think we should keep kind of. I feel like I've won once with Xavier this year, and I've lost once with Xavier this year, and I've virtually juiced out, and I feel happy about that. I just don't think they're a real good team. And I feel like if they couldn't have gotten up the other night, what makes you think they're going to get up here and win this game by margin? I mean, do they really ever win by margin? Do they ever win by double digits? I think the only game I remember them winning by double digits was against Seton Hall. And that was just one of those games. Two teams that I've been pretty disappointed with in conference, but I thought we'd have better efforts out of both these groups. I think they're on even playing fields here. I really have no interest in laying any numbers with Xavier. Just don't. I mean, if this is 2.5, maybe I have interest, but 7 seems a bit high. And I think bettors agree. I mean, or the number opened to 8. It's been up down 7. I even see a 6.5 at Heritage offshore. So, I wouldn't have any interest in Xavier laying a number here. If I had to play it, I would take the doggy here. I know people are probably asking questions. I will get to them at the end here. Iowa, Michigan State. I think you look at this game, and I think a lot of people will gravitate towards Iowa here, and they should. I mean, Iowa's a good team, but I don't know that Iowa's as good as people think. I think they're a group that is much different on the road. And if you look at some of the ranking systems, whether it's Ken Pom, Bart Torvik, I know Bart Torvik has Iowa, I think, close to 50th in the country on the road, at home in the 20s. So they're a different team away from home. I think the issue I have with Iowa is they're obviously really dependent on Luka Garza. If he gets in foul trouble or doesn't play well, I really haven't seen that many others step up and play well. You look at some of their games this year, like that Michigan game earlier this season, or even against against Maryland. Or some of these games where Garza's actually played really well. He's putting 25, 30, 40 points in. They're still losing by double digits. The problem that Iowa has is they can't fucking defend. This team sucks on defense. They are not good, and that's always been a problem under Fran McCaffrey. I heard recently an assistant coach that was unnamed, they didn't reference who it was, he made a comment saying that when playing zone, Iowa just doesn't guard. I mean, they don't. I mean, they are really a turnstile on defense. And I have a lot of concerns in this game on the road. I mean, keep in mind also CJ Frederick, a freshman guard, best 3-point shooter, questionable for this game with an ankle injury. That's tough. Where do you go for offense outside of Garza? Because I don't know if I've necessarily seen it. I've seen a lot of inconsistencies with the rest of this group. And they've needed freshmen to step up. Their best players outside of Garza are Toussaint and Frederick. Now you got to go on the road, and you got to face a team that whether you play man or you play zone, they're going to punish you. So, I see a lot of people taking Iowa, and go ahead, but I mean, this isn't a real good matchup. I mean, Garza will get his. I do think they're built to play against Garza, though. I like Bingham a lot. I like, obviously, some of their other bigs as well. Even bringing in guys like Kithier off the bench, I think they can give you some pronounced help. Xavier Tillman, obviously, we know his abilities. Henry, all those guys. And this is a road game. Where do you go if Luka Garza gets 2 fouls early in this game? Where do you go in that kind of game? So it'll be interesting. But I have some concerns about Iowa. Toledo, Central Michigan, no opinion. Kentucky, Texas A&M. I don't know if there's any, outside of Kansas, I don't know if there's a better team right now like playing in the country than Kentucky. Kentucky's been terrific. Texas A&M scrappy, but Kentucky should find a way. It is a road game, though. Old Miss, Auburn. A lot of people like Old Miss. Good luck with that. Good luck with Old Miss. Plus, I also saw Rico Bosco's on Ole Miss. I mean, betting on games that he's involved with, you might as well burn your money. You're better off taking your money, starting a fire, and using it as kindling. That's what you're better off doing than tailing him. If you see him on a game, your goal should be to bet as much as you can on the other side. I mean, he's a total mush. Total mush. He's horrific at this. He's so bad. And again, I'm not trying to be rude. It's true. I mean, he's not good at this. He's got a lot of attitude for a guy that doesn't do anything well. So, hopefully if he ever sees me in person, he'll have the same effort that he has when I'm not there. Because it's funny, you always find it interesting that to be relevant, he's got to mention me. First thing he says about me today on air was about me. First thing he says. Didn't say nothing else. First thing was about me. And some stupid joke about me looking like John Goodman. Keep in mind, Rico Bosco, not exactly a guy should be throwing stones in a glass house. He's not exactly an Adonis physically. So I don't know who the fuck he thinks he's talking about. Like, I'm not some punk that's just going to take it. Put your money where your mouth is or shut the fuck up. There's always something with him. He's always got something to say. I know, you probably are jealous. Some random guy is on the air more than you are. Squeezing you out. You're squeezing you out because you suck. It's fucking simple. I try to get out of the beef stuff. I'm not in it anymore, really. But, just do you. Stop mentioning me. You don't need to mention me. There ain't no reason to bring me up. Worry about your games. Worry about creating capital for yourself. Because every sport you bet, you lose. Every fucking time. I mean, so, it's weird how you always bring me up. You don't want to talk about me, you bring me up all the time. With stupid pet names. When you're not really in shape either. So I don't really know what you're getting at there. With your fucking, slick back haircut. With the fucking long hair in the back. Who the fuck are you? Seriously. So yeah, I mean, Auburn though, Okuru out, probably. I feel like, without him, I don't have as much interest. But Auburn at home, really good offensively. So, Plus, an important thing to mention, Auburn is very good at getting to the line. One of the best in the country. That's how their offense is run. Putting the fucking ball on the ground and getting to the basket. So the fact that they don't shoot threes is really, I don't care. Or they don't make threes, I don't care. Because they can get to the line. And Ole Miss is really lacking with, they don't have defensive prowess. A good defender can defend without fouling. He could defend without touching you. And this team is very handsy. They put you on the line a lot. One of the worst in this league. And that's the sign of a bad defensive team. The sign of a bad defensive team is you're bad defensively, but you also put people on the line. And it's no secret. I mean, Ole Miss is a young team. You got to become, defenders. You got to learn how to defend, and they're not necessarily learning how to defend. So I would lay the points here. Miami, Ohio, Kent State, nothing on that one. Buffalo, Ohio. I actually like Buffalo. I watched them the other night. Really interesting team. Scored a ton of points um, even without Nate Oates. Akron, Bowling Green, big game in this conference. Akron really playing some. Yeah, I'll talk about a team. A team in Akron really playing great basketball this year. They're a group that I think will represent this conference in the tournament. Really having a good year. John Gross has done a nice job there. Christian Jackson's having a good year. Nothing on this one though. Toss up. Bowling Green off a buzzer beater. Can he get another one? Can he get another big win tonight? Northern Illinois, Eastern Michigan, nothing. Western Michigan, nothing. Drake, Loyola. Drake, a team over the years, been a very good ATS group. This year, though, not as effective. Not as good on the road either. I mean, when was the last time they won on the road? Last time they won on the road, Evansville, January 22nd. So not a lot to write home about on the road for Drake. Not one of their better teams. And Loyola is kind of figuring it out right now. I'll tell you what, we might see Porter Moser and the boys back in the tournament. Krutwig playing it at a very high level. Missouri State, Valpo. Don't have much here. I'm not a big Valpo guy. I just don't like them defensively. Dana Ford, Missouri State. Just been a lot of injuries. I know Tyreek Dixon and some of those other guys have been in and out of the lineup. Baylor, Kansas State. Lean Baylor here. Should be able to get the job done, but I wonder about them offensively. I want to see them put together a really good offensive game here tonight. Should be able to kind of handle business. We saw last night Kansas take care of business. This is kind of a bounce back spot for Baylor, which I didn't really think that, obviously that's not a bad loss the other night. You lose by a couple points, against Kansas and you beat them already. It is what it is. Couldn't care less about it. Baylor's still a good team. But I wonder about them offensively. Put together a good offensive game tonight. Give me 74-54 here, something like that. You do your normal defensive stuff, but put up 75 tonight. That will make me feel better about Kansas State or about Baylor against Kansas State. Texas Tech, Oklahoma. Really, I don't know if there's a bigger game for a team tonight than Oklahoma. You talk about a team that really has to have a game tonight, and that's Oklahoma. They are holding on by a thread, Lon Kruger's group, right on the bubble. And, I will say this about Oklahoma. I don't hate them in this spot. I think my issue here is it sucks it's not a true home game for them. I don't care that it's like only in Oklahoma City. I mean, it's a half hour away. I mean, it's not like it's it's not 2 minutes down the street. It's a half hour away. You still got to get on a bus and do your thing. Kind of sucks they lose a true home game here. But I will say this. I think there are two teams in the country that aren't great. They're not teams that you like. They're not top 25 teams. But one thing about Oklahoma, they're kind of like Notre Dame. They do the little things. Okay? They're not going to turn it over. They play good defense. They don't foul you defensively. They're good at the foul line. Can create a lot, just kind of putting their hands in and stuff like that, try to create turnovers. They lost to Kansas and Baylor recently. Texas Tech, not bad. I didn't really understand what happened the other night against Oak State. That was a rough loss. First time these two teams played was actually close, 69-61 in Lubbock. Oklahoma was actually leading in the second half. So, I mean, they played well, just couldn't finish. You wonder where the third or fourth options on this team is. Like, when will you get a full game? Because Manick and Reeves are going to give you stuff. Can Bieniemy, Doolittle, Harmon, Alondas Williams, can all those guys contribute? Because there's too many games where they don't. Look, case in point, the first time these two teams played. Only had two guys in double figures. You need more. Big game for Oklahoma. It's one you got to have. Two teams with huge games tonight, them and Mississippi State. Mississippi State obviously has to have it as well against Alabama at home. And I like Mississippi State. I've talked about that. I'm a big Mississippi State fan. But I'll tell you, 4 seems like a little too many. Should be close, though. Clemson, Georgia Tech, who cares? North Carolina State, North Carolina, another team that needs a win tonight. Put up or shut up for NC State. Okay, stop fucking making excuses. You're a bubble team that beat Duke. Don't fuck it up and go win at North Carolina. Simple. And they should. North Carolina stinks. There's no excuses tonight for the Wolfpack. Put up or shut up. Stop whining. Get a win, and you're off the bubble. And you better believe if you lose tonight, they are not making the tournament. This is not so much a game that is a great win, but it'd be a bad loss at this point. You've got to win here. There's really no excuse. And you got to get the monkey off your back. North Carolina's had their number. Beat them the first time they played. Go win. Quit making excuses. Go out and take it. Too many people making excuses. Go out and fucking take it. Quit feeling bad for yourself, NC State. Go win. Nevada, Wyoming. I'll tell you a team. Keep your eye on Nevada. I know people just anoint SDSU. They're going to win. They're going to roll. That's fine. Watch out for Nevada, though. Didn't play real bad against San Diego State. We're hanging around. Hanging around. Kids got alligator blood. That's what they were doing first time they played. Great second half for San Diego State, though. Really came out quick out of the gate. First 10 minutes of the second half, 20-7. They got outscored. So San Diego State had a good 10-minute run, pulled away. Keep your eye on Nevada. Decent team. Like Jalen Harris and Jazz Johnson a lot. Very good guard play for that group. Alford's done a good job there. It wasn't easy. You lose a lot. Do you realize how much they lost last year? You lose their coach. You lose Jordan Caroline. You lose the Martin twins. You lose Trayshawn Thurman. You lose Trey Porter. Obviously aren't as good as last year, but they go from being the number 2 experienced team in the country to a team with very little continuity. They have one of the lowest minute continuities in the country. Minutes continuity for the layperson is how many minutes do you bring back from the year previous? How long have you played? This group really hasn't played together much. Fuck, man, I need a bigger desk. One thing I definitely have to do. I need a bigger desk. I will get the comments. We're almost done here. Memphis, SMU. I like SMU here, but numbers get a little high for my liking. Memphis, talk about a team that needs a win. They're another group on the bubble. Just hard to bet them. I don't like them on the road. I like SMU and Moody a lot. Great offense for SMU. One thing about SMU as well that you can feel comfortable about, one of the best foul shooting teams in the country. When they are up late, they close games out. But I'll tell you right now, I didn't have any interest in this above 4. Just got too high for me. 2.5, 3.5, I'm in. 4.5 now, 5 in some spots. Starting to see some value on the other side. I just have to hope Memphis doesn't turn the ball over 8,000 times. And with this group, that's not something you can expect. They turn the ball over too much. And that's Penny's issue. It was his issue coming into the season, and it was his issue regardless of if he had James Wiseman or not. He didn't have a pronounced point guard. Who knew what it was? It was Damian Bow, it was a Booker Ellis. Who was it? And if you don't have a competent point guard, you will not win. It's like having a restaurant without a cook. You can't just let line cooks and fucking prep people put shit together. You need a cook. Tulane, Tulsa. Many of you know I love Tulsa. Big fan of this group. I'm much more interested in them, though, laying small numbers. I don't love them laying big numbers. Tulane, I think they're too good to be 10-point dogs here. I really do. And people know I love Tulane or Tulsa. I'm a big Tulsa guy. I bet them a lot this year. I had them Saturday. Tough spot. A lot of points here. Tulsa wins a lot of, 57, 51 type of games. And Tulane's been a decent underdog this year, actually. Earlier this season, they were actually quite good in the dog roll. I know it's come down to 10. I still think it's fair. I don't hate the spot. Money moving the right way. One thing about Tulane you have to remember, they're not just a young team with no talent. Ron Hunter basically said, I can't recruit, so let me just go out and grab tons of transfers. He gets Tayshaun Hightower from Georgia, KJ Lawson from Kansas, Christian Thompson from Rhode Island. He had Jelly Walker already. So, I mean, it's a team made up a lot of transfers. Nick Thomas, he got him from Norfolk State. 4 of their 5 starters are transfers. Yet, they're hanging around. I'm not asking them to win. I don't care if they win. Just don't lose by more than 10. Not a bad underdog spot tonight for Hunter's group. San Jose, Utah State. I have no opinion on this game. Big numbers high. And we've talked about Utah State. Hard for them to cover big numbers. They just don't go very fast. I mentioned a couple weeks ago, I took Wyoming getting a big number with them. And I think it was last week, actually. They were like 22-point favorites, and they won by 20. So, it's sometimes tough for them. They don't really go too fast. And defensively, they really make you work. The problem that you're going to have tonight is San Jose goes fast. They're going to go down, fuck around, not make anything, and then you're going to go the other way. So, when you play a team that sucks and they're playing a team that is good but they run slow, you need to hope that other team plays slow because they can kind of just mask it with taking a ton of time. And while they may miss, they took 20 seconds off the clock. You're not going to have enough possessions to cover 22. And this game's going to be different because San Jose is one of the faster tempos in the country. Final game, Colorado State, San Diego State. Colorado State's on my shit list after that pathetic performance against UNLV last week, a game that they just were wretched in. They followed it up, beat San Jose State. It wasn't easy, though. San Jose State off a loss, should get the job done. I will say I kind of like the over here. I feel like San Diego State should score mid-70s, high 70s. I think Colorado State, I think, is good enough for 65. Should be able to find its way over the total. Total, I think, let me get the total here. Total is 130. Fuck, man. Why does it take so fucking long? Jesus Christ, some of these fucking odd services take 8 hours. 138.5. So, yeah, kind of lean over there. So, there you have it. All the games. Nobody's doing that in this business outside of like 1 or 2, and they do it early in the morning. I'm doing it an hour before the game starts. So there you have it. I'll get the comments here in a second. I quickly want to thank the Sports Keg guys for having me on the last couple of days. Really enjoyed going on there and just chatting about sports betting, doing some live betting. We've had some success with it. I'll tell you right now, if you're not checking that out, go check it out. They're doing a great job. They're doing something in the business that not a lot of people are doing. And they're good guys. They're nice guys. Spread Astaire and Anthony and Jason Paglia. They're doing a great job. Really enjoy that. If you haven't checked it out, go check that out tonight on SBR's channel. They're doing a great job. I've been on the last couple of nights. Really gotten back into my NBA groove. Many of you know I'm an NBA banger. I don't bet it a lot, but when I bet it, I'm good at it. And with my next opportunity that I'm taking, I'm going to get definitely back into it once the late season comes, the playoffs. I'm going to fire away. So looking forward to that. And that's one thing about this new opportunity that I'm going to take that I'm going to be really excited about. It allows me to really kind of be an all faceted capper again. With my website, I'm so busy looking at games and kind of focusing on one thing. So, we'll get back. And college basketball is so deeply rooted. It takes, a lot of time. And once it's over, you can really start focusing on other things. So I'm really excited this year about baseball. I'm really excited about, that daily grind, the NBA late season. We got Euro Cup this year. All of it's going to be at this new venture that I'm joining. It's not really a new venture. It's just a new venture for me. So I'm very excited about it. It's going to be exciting, I think, for a lot of you. All right. We have a lot of comments. Let me go back through all the comments here. Christopher Wilson saying Uncut Gems was a silly ending. I don't know about that. I guess it was. So what did you want to happen? You wanted them to basically be like, "Oh, he won, so he's going to pay us," and that's that. I think the guys, the two debt collectors, were looking to grab that Arno spot, so I think they had that kind of set up. Can Dayton actually win the tournament? I'm holding 100-1 future ticket. Yeah, I think they can. Sure they can. What's up, Eric? Lou Price, are you joining Barstool? Well, here's what I'll say about that. I'm going to the office tomorrow, and I'm going to be on Pick Central, so I don't know. Maybe you should put two and two together. But again, I won't say anything. My lips are sealed. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Kevin. Ferdinando, good for you. It was only a matter of time. Thank you. What do I think of the XFL? I've not watched 1 minute. Thanks, D. Curry, R.S. Jacobs. Appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you. David H. is saying Iowa over. Okay. Good luck with that. Anytime you play Iowa, you're going to score plenty of points. So I don't hate that. Rico blocked me on Twitter, and I've never had an interaction with him. Well, you follow me, so that's standard. He's that worried about me. I've got that much real estate in his head that he's that brutal. If you just follow me, he blocks you. Simone Saluti dall'Italia. What's up, my friend? Che fai? Good to see you, brother. Commendatore, as they say. I'm not going to whoop his. No, I mean, it's not like that. Keith Silva, thanks for checking out the show. Who would I have for the Final Four? Okay, at the moment, Final Four. Brigham Young, Kansas, Seton Hall, Gonzaga. I'm going to say 2 West Coast Conference teams get to the Final Four. How about that? For all you fucks that say the West Coast Conference sucks, 2 Final Four teams, motherfucker. Gonzaga, Brigham Young, Kansas, and Seton Hall. I would love that Final Four because I love all 4 of those teams. By the way, can we get Richmond in the tournament, please? I'm begging them that Richmond gets to the tournament. I love Richmond. Get them into the tournament. By the way, jot this down. Next year, Richmond and St. Bonaventure going to be very good. Wouldn't surprise me if they challenge to win the conference. Dayton will be gone. Toppin will be gone. I like those 2 groups next year. Keep an eye on those. Write them down. Oklahoma really needs this game. Yes, they do. If I don't read your comment, obviously I've went over every game, so there's really no reason for me to read your comment. Hal Abrams, how you doing? Thanks for watching. Jay Patel, thanks for watching. In my opinion, Kansas is head and shoulders above everyone. Who would I classify as number 2? I would still say Gonzaga. I still think when fully healthy, I think they're really good. They just ran into a team that played really well the other night. Texas A&M can't shoot, and Kentucky should put up a double-digit win. Well, I mean, it's not easy. It's not as easy as that, man. But hey, do what you got to do, brother. Wilder complained that his costume he wore was 40 pounds and made his legs tired. Listen, Wilder, I think we got to be a little easier on Wilder. Look, the injury he had was brutal. I mean, that is so difficult to deal with. I don't think people quite understand what happened to him. He got hit in one of the worst spots you can get hit. His body was off. He just didn't fight well. First 2 rounds, I thought it was even. 3rd round was awful. I mean, that was the end for Deontay Wilder. It's a bad night. It's not going to always happen. It's a bad night for him. He got caught in the wrong spot. Sometimes that happens. Do I think if they fight again, it'll be different? Yeah. I thought it was different in the first fight. Fury shouldn't have gotten up. He did. I want to see the third fight. I'd be interested in that. Who are bubble teams to watch? Tonight, Memphis, Mississippi State, NC State. Um, yeah, I mean, you can go research that though. I mean, there's plenty of bracketologists that do that. C. Baltimore. I mean, this guy just comments on everything. Ben Diaz, thanks for watching. Do you have a pick on Pick Central today? I missed the show. No, they didn't get the calls, and I didn't really want to upset the apple cart there. They were obviously doing their thing. I'm actually doing really well in Pick Central. I'm 5-1-1. I gave out the Miami Heat last night, -3 in the first half. I will be on the show tomorrow as well. So if you're someone that enjoys Pick Central and Sirius on Barstool Radio 85, check that out. I'll be on at noon with Dave Portnoy and Brenna Walker and Marty Mush. I don't know if Big Cat's going to be there. I hope he is. I don't know if he'll be there or not. I want to say I feel like I heard he was going somewhere, but I don't know. I'm sure if he's not there, it'll be either Blackjack or Paul or whoever. So that'll be fun. Make sure you catch that. Also, if you can't listen live, Barstool has Pick Central on podcast. So you can listen to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, anytime. So if you missed the show, you can listen to it back. They also play it again on Barstool Radio at 6 o'clock Eastern. So if you missed the show at noon, you can listen to it again at 6 o'clock Eastern. So make sure you check that out. A lot of really fun talk. We talk about sports and betting, and it'll be fun. So what else do we have here? If you have any other comments, feel free to throw them in. I'm kind of finishing them up here, and then I will wrap the show up. So if you're around and you have a comment, feel free to contact me and mention it. Thank you, Kevin. Jesus Christ, this Gallimore guy, man. He literally says, I mean, Gallimore, you're a good commenter, but settle down, brother. You're there's so many comments from this Gallimore guy. And he just gives his opinion on all of his games. Yay. Do you think Auburn can make a Final Four run? No, I don't. I don't think they're as good as they were last year. Lost a lot of talent. Need Okuru to get healthy. I mean, he's really important. Wilder's never had good technique. I didn't say he didn't have good technique. I didn't make that comment ever. I'm just saying that in the third fight, I think he'd be better. That's all. I'm not saying he has good technique. I never said he didn't. Thank you, Gallimore. Appreciate that. What do you think about Florida State in the Final Four? Yeah, I wouldn't hate it. Great win by them last night. I actually jumped on them in the second half. Great win by them last night. Really impressive stuff. Louisville with a terrible loss. You're still the best on YouTube. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you, Mr. Rizzo. I appreciate that. You're very kind. I thank all of you guys for your loyalty. I thank all of you guys for always checking in. I know we always have new people and people join us here, but you're all very kind. Obviously, at the end of the day, wherever I work, I do this for the love of the game. I've done so much free content. I do it a lot of the time just because I enjoy doing it. This show I don't get paid to do this show. I do it because I actually enjoy coming on here and talking about sports betting. So, whether I'm getting paid for it or whether I'm doing it for free, I'm doing a Periscope. Maybe you see me at a casino and we talk about sports betting. Like, that's all the love of the game. And that's the only thing that I've ever done. I've only ever done it because I like doing it. It's taken a long time to find something to catch on with. But I will say this, like the last thing I'll say before I go. When all this happens for me, so when I finally put my name on paper and I am confirmed, I will, when I get home that night, I will go in my room and I will weep for a little bit of time because I've worked really hard to create a platform, to create a voice, to create a being, to create everything. I put a lot of time into this shit. Whether it was selling picks, whether it was doing content, whether it was working for SBR, whether it was, just sitting here doing a show that nobody watched when I first started doing this. And I'm not huge. I mean, I don't have 10,000 listeners every day, but I've always built myself up to get to that point. And I will take some time to look back and like just thank whoever helped me do this. Because I haven't always been easy, you know. I've always been myself. I've hurt myself in a lot of ways. I've hurt myself with certain opportunities because of who I am, and I've never stopped being who I am. I'm not going to kowtow to you because you want me to not swear or you want me to dress in a suit. Like that's not me. That's not who I am. And you know, I've given a lot of opportunities away for that. So I've tried to buy my time. I've tried to grind. I've tried to do my thing, and you know, I think it's all going to pay off finally. Um, I've tried stuff. I've done all sorts of things, but I will take some time to look at what I'm doing, and I know it sounds crazy that I'll cry about it, but I've worked hard to do what I'm doing. So, um, and a lot of it has been, you know, free basically. So, um, yeah, I'm very, very happy. Hopefully it all works out. Jukesta is saying, does Kentucky get to the Final Four? Yeah, I wouldn't say no to that. I don't have them in my Final Four right now, but they're right there. I love Maxi. Love him. Love that kid. Really love Richards. He's played really well. Uh, and John usually gets those kids to buy in late in the season. So, yeah, I love that play. How do I feel about San Diego State? I don't necessarily think they get to the Final Four. I think they're a team that will lose probably Sweet 16 time around then. College baseball is getting bigger. Do you cap that sport? No, I do not. I do not cap college baseball. Um, what are local casinos like? Uh, they're okay. They're cool. Uh, Thank you, Ramon Scott. Appreciate that, man. You're very kind. Thank you. Thanks, BK Capper. Just call FSU get to the Final Four, says Cole Smith. Yeah, they would definitely be in my running. There's not a lot of teams that I think you get to the Final Four, but I think they can for sure. They'd probably be in my like 15 teams that I think can actually get there. That was a hell of a win last night. Not easy to do that. I mean, they were getting beaten up. Ryan McMahon couldn't miss. That was impressive. All right, guys, I'm out of here. You'll enjoy your night. Thank you for watching. Thanks for always watching my channel. This channel is going to go, kind of dark for a while, but I thank all of you. Make sure you follow me on Twitter so you can find out where I'm going to be doing stuff and continuing my content. Make sure you support all of that. Make sure you support everything. You claim to put all this work in, and then you are unable to hit 50% ATS. Ouch. That's actually not true. Right now, my website am 53-42. I was 5-2 in the NFL, and I was 48-40 in college basketball. So you should learn to do better research, pal. But hey, thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Okay, Skeet, you take it easy, brother. Mr. Rizzo, take it easy. B. Cobb says, Brigham Young, Dark Horse Final Four. Yeah. I mean, where have you been? I've been touting that for a while now. I wrote an article about that, and I will continue to tout that. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for checking me out. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, as that is the hub of everything Big Man on Campus.